Everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, Mark, like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
It only used to cost a nickel. And a bus ride only used to cost a dime.
Lots of luck.
Them days can be forgotten. The world has gotten rotten. Lots of luck. Lots of luck. Lots of luck.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New again. Lots of luck making up.
Don DeLuise. Good show. I liked Lots of Luck. I think that deserved a second season.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New again. Douglas Viviani here with the evaluation man himself, David Cohen.
Evaluation man.
How do you like that? You're like a superhero.
Yeah, but all right. That was a little disappointing. Not a lot of creativity behind that one. If I'm going to be honest with you, you've done much better work. What is an evaluation man?
There literally is no. It's the end of the year, the bottom of the barrel. There's no creativity left. In fact, this show is the best of show, and it's probably one of, if not the least creative shows of the year. So
you figured you might as well follow the theme. And,
exactly. Why throw my best effort into a best of show? Did Carson do that? What Carson did? Carson put a nice tuxedo on, but I think that was only for the. No, he did it for all the best ofs, didn't he? He put a tuxedo on.
I'm looking at you right now because we're doing this over Zoom, and I mean, at best, it looks like you're wearing a T-shirt, but it may not even be a T-shirt from what I can see.
It's the T-shirt.
Yeah, you're putting your full effort into this one.
It's not just a T-shirt. It's the T-shirt that I slept in last night. It's not any old T-shirt.
What a great way to kick off the new year.
All right, now, anybody that's still listening, what we're going to do here is try to dive into and complete our evaluation of our show, internal evaluation to see, should we continue with another season? And I guess we'll do that.
Wait, is that on the table? I didn't know. This is news to me. Are we being canceled?
Internally, do we deserve it? Do we have any more in the reserves?
Do we want to, basically, right? Is there any gas left in the tank?
I guess there is, because we are laughing. We just started. So we'll be here. Don't worry. But here's the thing. This past year, we had lots of fun, lots of luck. We brought a lot, like what would you say? We put the spotlight on a number of shows, and that was from show 322, if you're going to look on, let's say, Deezer or Spotify or, what was it, iHeartRadio, any of these places you could find our shows now, the old shows. And, lots of luck. We were talking about 1-year TV shows, good and bad. Obviously, they're only lasted 1 year. Lots of them weren't so good. But we pointed out a couple of good ones. And that's I enjoyed that show, and I don't know if you did. I thought that we brought out some interesting shows from there, right? So that was kind of cool.
I know. That was one of our better ones, I thought.
I did enjoy that. I also enjoyed talking about, well, let's go, we could dive into it right now. My So-Called Life. We'll get David Cohen's take on that one.
Yeah, my So-Called Life, right?
Yes.
A great show.
What's it about? It's about a fictional suburb near Pittsburgh where, called Three Rivers, where Claire Danes and others are growing up and trying to make their way. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's about teenage angst, centering on this one girl, Angela, played by Claire Danes, and the family and the friends. So it sounds like cliche, another teen after-school special. But the writing was great. The acting was great. And it wasn't, the thing I loved about it, it was so, there were no cliches. There were no just hacky kind of things that the characters would say that you've heard a million times. So it was a different take on it. And the other great thing about the show was it addressed themes at the time, and that still are important: loneliness, alcoholism, suicide, things that teens are facing even today.
So there's nothing hacky or cliche whatsoever about us doing a best of and playing clips. at all.
No, listen, you got to tell me that you were going into a clip because I thought you were asking me, like, currently what I thought about my so-called life. And I was going to say, okay. And I was going to give you my evaluation, being the evaluation man. And then I heard myself talking. I'm like, oh, it's a clip. Right. Sorry.
It's kind of hard to be cut off by yourself and get angry because you'll be getting angry at yourself if you really think about it.
I'm always angry at myself.
Okay.
Doesn't work. That's nothing new.
Well, I'll tell you, here's what we should do. I have that show and 2 others, and including, of course, we got Lots of Luck. So far, which show of all of them is the one show to recommend of all for someone who hasn't seen any of these one-year TV shows? So that was from show 331.
Wait, are you asking me now? Or
no, I have 2 more. 2 more to evaluate, and then there'll be a drum roll. Correct.
Okay.
So here's another one that let's see if we recommend this one.
It's about time, it's about flight, traveling faster than the speed of light. Here is their tale of the brave crew.
This was your favorite.
The barrier of time they flew. It's about time.
Wow, anybody still listening? This is Everything Old is New Again.
God, that was horrific. What was that?
David Cohen, that was It's About Time, a show from 1966 that was created by the same gentleman, Sherwin Schwartz, who had created Gilligan's Island. You know, that classic, wonderful Gilligan's Island show.
Yeah, it sounds like the same band that's singing.
It is.
Oh, gosh, what a horrible song. Seriously, I mean, next to waterboarding, that's got to be the worst torture. That's got to be number 2. You should contact the government because this is a great torture device.
Welcome to Everything Old is New Again. That is David Cohen, the Mac Mackenzie to my Hector Canfield, who are the astronauts.
I'm so lost right now. What are you talking? I have no idea. I hear this crazy music. You're throwing these names out at me. What are we doing here?
David Cohen, we're back here. You literally have the same exact reaction as I'm watching you. Listen to that song.
No, I'm cringing at hearing my own voice, to be honest with you.
Oh, is that what it is? Why?
It sounds very put on, like, oh, what are you doing? I don't know. It just didn't sound genuine. I came out genuine, but it didn't sound it. Anyway, we're diverted. We're getting into my own personal hang-ups. That's not what this show is about. Sorry.
But that show, It's About Time, was canceled after 1 year.
That when I heard that theme song again, when you started playing it, I listen. Don't ever play that again, please.
And I saw it run a chill right up. You ever see a cat when a cat gets scared and the hair gets all on edge? I saw that happen to you. If you could arch your back, you'd be arching your back, though you weren't scared. You were more like freaked out, like, I can't believe I'm listening to this again. All right, so that's not going to win your vote, I don't think, for the best recommendation. But I suggest maybe just for the novelty of it, the fact that you're never going to see a show like that ever again. You may want to just take a peek into it. Let's take a look at one last nominee, if you will, of the show that should be recommended. It was only on for 1 year. And again, we did this in show 332 and 331. This one is My Mother the Car. And 66 seems to have all of these shows, if you notice.
Oh, so My Mother the Car was in the mid-60s? I always thought it was like back in the 50s or something.
So an obnoxious neighbor petitions Dave to get rid of his, quote, I saw car, because the car is an old car. But he changes his tune when a television executive announces plans to feature the porter, I guess that's the car, in a TV commercial. That's the plot. Don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds promising.
Here's one I would like. You ready for this?
Yeah.
With the help of his mother, which is the car, Dave lands a new client by pretending to be a ventriloquist.
Good use of the mom in the car voice. Yeah.
Why?
Clever.
All right, David Cohen, there you go. My Mother Car with Jerry Van Dyke. And then there's It's About Time with Imogene Coco. There's My So-Called Life with a plethora of stars of today's world, including what's her name? Claire Danes. And then there's Lots of Luck, Dom DeLuise. Which show would you recommend?
What are we voting on? Sorry, the best of those?
The best? Well, I can't even say the best.
No, that deserved a second season?
No, I wouldn't even say that. This category is which show of those would you recommend to our audience to get onto YouTube or wherever and watch at least one episode?
Freaks and Geeks.
It's not.
I know it wasn't on the list. Did we even talk about it?
No, it's too obvious.
Too obvious. Did we talk about it on the show?
We did talk about Freaks and Geeks. Absolutely, yes, we did.
Okay, but so for purposes,
I guess
of
just saying
what you're
Freaks
doing
and
right now,
Geeks. Yeah, Freaks and Geeks should have been nominated, but I thought it was too obvious.
So I would say, I mean,
We need a drum roll.
Are we going to categorize them by? It's hard to compare My So-Called Life, which was pretty much a drama,
Right.
to like Lots of Luck, which is a straight comedy.
Yes.
But if I had to, I would say My So-Called Life.
All right, there it is. There's our recommendation. I would say you got to take a peek into My Mother the Car. It may hook you for a couple episodes.
Okay.
We'll be back right after this. Everything old's new again to continue evaluation. Excuse me. What?
You said we'll be back. I said, will we?
I hope so.
Hello, this is Paul Michael Glazer. You may know me from Starsky and Hutch. I was the dark-haired one. I've been writing. I've got a book out called Crystalia and the Source of Light, which is on Amazon. And I've been painting, and I've been doing my thing, as I hope you've been doing your thing. And I am right now enjoying a really interesting conversation. Everything old is new again, so give it a listen.
Hi, this is David Soul. You're listening to Douglas Viviani and David Cohen, and everything old is new again. Take my word for it.
There we go. How about that for an introduction from the past? David Cohen, Douglas Viviani on Everything Old is New Again. David is laughing and cringing, I think, somehow for some reason.
Starsky and Hutch. He had to say he's the dark-haired one. Was that distinction necessary? When we think of Starsky and Hutch, I mean, for me, aren't they interchangeable? I'm nothing taking away from those guys. They were great. I'm not putting them down, but I don't remember having to distinguish between Starsky or Hutch.
It wasn't a top priority. It wasn't really top of the list. All right, well.
But it was important to them, apparently.
Yeah, they did both define who they were, didn't they? Did Soul, David Soul do it? He did it too. Yeah.
Did he say he's the? I don't think he mentioned anything about being the blonde-haired one, but probably because the other guy already made it clear. So it's like when you used to watch boxing matches, and they would say, one boxer was in the dark trunks. You'd always see that printed at the bottom of the screen, right? Just to make that.
But you didn't need it when you saw Muhammad Ali and he was wearing the dark trunks. You knew it was Muhammad Ali at that point, right?
Exactly.
All right,
dark
listen.
Trunks.
Let's take a look and dive into some more of the best of Everything Old is New Again. Now, this year we, with the prodding of David Cohen, we have sort of put that kid on stage. You know how you push that kid on stage and he's very reluctant to be on stage, and then they stare at the audience and they kind of fumble through like a song, and all of a sudden it gets, kid gets some confidence and people are applauding it. Gets a little better and maybe so he feels, all right, so I'll do it and all that. And then finishes with the big finish, on the one knee, and it just is like a big hurrah. So that's sort of the way I feel with these stories that I've been telling. I didn't know that they were going to develop into a cottage industry unto themselves, but they seem to have done so a little bit here with David Cohen's encouragement, and I think so. The stories that we tell, and I say that we tell them together because I could not do them just sitting here mumbling a story to myself. They would be extraordinarily boring. So the reaction and the interaction and the evaluation by David Cohen is essential to these stories. Let's take a look as a team, so to speak, but David Cohen, you're going to evaluate. You're going to be the judge, if you will, of the best the best story of all. And we'll start with a little smidge of each of them, a little bit about the drive-in with the young lady, especially young lady. So there was a lot of discussion going on, and there was very little fun. And sooner or later, it fogged up and this and that. It was uncomfortable. It was raining. The rain wasn't going away. The place was getting muddy. I had the speaker. It was hanging from the window, and it was getting wet. And needless to say, maybe 45 minutes in, the lights of the Nova light up. I put it into drive, and we went to Friendly's for a fribble, and went home. So once again,
I'm surprised you went to Friendly's. I would have just.
Well, Friendly's was the perfect name for the relationship, and so there you go. It's
good.
Beginning of the story evaluation with the young lady.
At least this isn't all going to your head, Doug. Where you suddenly think, "Wow, my stories are so great. Let's put them on the best of show and figure out which was the greatest."
Yeah, no, we're not going to do 2 segments on that either. How about the donut eating contest? There's like 6 or 7 people sitting down, all getting set up. Okay, Leo. So when we do this, right? I mean, you just want to understand. You got to find out where the water is. So if I drop a water, because I'm notorious going fast and getting nervous, the water will spill. You need to know where the water is so you can fill the cup up. Okay, good. We're looking up top. We see the yellow jug with the red top, where the water is. So, Leo, that's where you're going to go. Okay. So now there's like 9 or 10 people, and the time is passing.
And you're still on the Ferris.
I'm still on the Ferris. I'm like, what's going on here? It's like, all right, a little piece of this story about the street fair.
That was I think I called that something right out of The Simpsons, right?
Yes.
It happened to Homer.
You did your imitation. How often do you do that imitation? It was very good. Of the
I did, of Homer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right, here we go.
I'm surprised they didn't eat the pizza.
What's that? No, what did you say?
No, I was saying that was a good one, too. Sorry, the donut. I'm surprised they didn't eat the pizza waiting to get out.
Well, they rolled over a little bit in their panic. And
no. So they were panicking. Like, how long were they in the trunk?
Oh, good 10 minutes. It's not a good experience. Tell me. You've seen Goodfellas, haven't you? That seems to be memorable to David Coney. Remembers our 2 buddies in the trunk of the car in the drive-in. Another aspect of that show. All right, let's go into the San Gennaro feast. We got a little something there.
Who's hungry?
There's Tony Danza.
Oliva is a 125-year-old cheese store. Been on the corner of Grand and Mulberry since 1892. Stop at the stand because we don't make feast food. We make real food.
So they make real food, and that's Tony Danza from Taxi. And he's at the stand, and we're looking at him. And from the car, we could see him. And we're like, this is tremendous. It's Tony Danza. I took a little liberty there. I didn't tape that I got from YouTube, but we heard him and saw him, and we waved and whatever. So we're getting all excited. There's Tony Danza's here. There's all this food. There's a couple of little rides. There's a little something here. There's like the music, that whole thing. The music's going. There we go. A little piece of the San Gennaro.
Yeah, where you drove around for hours and you couldn't find parking and you had to take her home. These are all great stories. But if I had to choose one, I think the Friendlies, the Fribble at Friendlies.
You do like that. No, that was totally...
Although, listen, these, I don't think there's one clear cut. But, I think that was one of the first ones or more extended stories we did with the beach. So to me... If I had to pick one, it would be that.
All right. How about this one that drives me crazy? And I've heard...
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's plenty more. This one, I have to tell you a story about the story. Here you go. Listen to this one. She's dressed up as Jeannie, the I Dream of Jeannie. It's this nice white outfit. This white sleeves for this. And this is some heck of an outfit. This is a lot of work. This is not the made-up Thomas which where Ed asked Dad for his white smock and put on a... glasses with a mustache. I mean, she thought about this like you did. This is a big deal. So I pull out the invisible ink, and I think this is going to be hysterical. I pull out. Listen to you in the background. Oh no! Now, since that story, that's the Halloween party. Again, this can be on $3.99 if you want to take a look at.
Oh, we're back live. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. I've since heard from.
Yeah. Eileen. What did she? The woman who, just to be clear, the woman who you got the invisible ink on her great Halloween costume and didn't talk to you again ever. And you heard from her recently.
I spoke with her again at the reunions and stuff, and even after that, but it just never was the same.
Oh yeah, she was a little, but things weren't the same, right?
Right. So I get a phone call after this show. Our friend Loretta sent her the show.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, go ahead. What happened?
She calls me up, and she goes, I know it's been very awkward. In fact, it's awkward for me even to make this phone call. I said, Eileen, it's awkward. I said, what do I care awkward? What do you mean? We're just having some fun.
This was like so many years ago.
Yeah, she goes, you didn't have to tell the story. She says, I know no one knows who I am, but you really didn't have to tell the story. And I'm thinking this is going bad. I'm thinking she's going to get mad for me to have broadcast the story. We never used her last name.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, Eileen, I'm sorry. No, there's no reason to be sorry. We had so many laughs at home listening to that story because it's exactly what happened. I cannot believe you remember that. I remember that to this day. And I tell my family that story every Halloween. I go, what? Yes. And I'm so sorry that we've been awkward and what have you to you. It wasn't awkward to me, but yes, it was always like a black cloud hanging over our head. But now I'm really happy you told the story. Let's get the reunion together. I really want to talk about this at the reunion with everybody else and have some fun. I'm like, well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to go to the reunion to talk about the story.
Wow, that's
but yeah,
shocking.
so it repaired things. How about that?
It did. What a great ending to that story.
Yeah, and then, you know, I was wearing the glasses with the nose, the Groucho glasses with the nose from the made-up optometrist. You know that thing with the nose, with the mustache, right? Unfortunately, the girl whose dad, who hosted that party, whose dad passed away recently. I went to the wake, and there's Valerie, and what a lovely time. I mean, seriously, what a very nice tribute they gave to Dad. But and they had paraphernalia from his life, you know, little accoutrement on the table, and there, I swear to you, there are the nose and glasses with the mustache.
That you borrowed.
Yeah, I left them at the party that night. Apparently, apparently her dad loved them so much. There were literally pictures, and I'll have to send you some, of Dad at different Halloweens, whether it was as Sherlock Holmes or other pictures of Dad. She's like, my dad, who just passed away, loved that nose and mustache so much with the glasses that he wore it every Halloween. It was an event in the house. We all had so many laughs. Thank you. And I'm like, all that I did was bring it and forgot it. Don't thank me. But
oh my God, that's crazy.
So that story rebounded twice. Can you imagine?
That's amazing. Wow.
So maybe that'll make one.
We should have done a separate show on that.
Just what we just did?
You could have with Eileen, especially with the invisible ink. Could have been a whole buildup. She wouldn't have agreed to come on the show?
Maybe she will. I'll call her. I will call her back. Maybe I'll say, forget the reunion. Let's do it now, right?
Yeah,
and we could do it on the show.
I think that's a great idea.
Should we get Valerie too with the glasses, or no? A nice tribute to her dad. I don't know if that's relevant.
Yeah, I think it could be the same show.
Oh, yeah, right. Just following up.
I think our listeners right now should be very privileged that they're sort of getting like a. This is almost like the Get Back version of Everything Old is New Again. Right. You're hearing the creation of one of the greatest episodes upcoming ever with Doug and I being formulated as on the air as we're going along. The brilliance has got to be breathtaking to our listeners.
Especially if you're a fan of Everything Old is New Again. We'll be back right at this. Everything Old is New Again, fan or not. We're going to continue with the best of, figure out what's the best story, and then more. And then more. Who's the best guest? Happy New Year!
Hello, I'm Kevin Burns, and I'm the executive producer of the new Lost in Space on Netflix, The Curse of Oak Island, and Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. And you're listening to Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Yes, we are back. That's friend of the show, Kevin Burns, who was quite prolific in Hollywood there with his brand of entertainment, and he came on our show 4 times. We lost him about a year ago, and onward and upward, right, so to speak, until we meet again. He was a terrific friend of the show, and just
great
sad
guest
to see. He was a great guest. He did those great imitations of all the Munster characters.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
That was funny. Very surprising.
Yes.
Very good.
Exactly. And he was he's behind the Oak Island show, which is like season 12, and Unexplained, and all these shows.
Yeah.
And he gave us the inside on William Shatner, if you remember. So we had some fun with him. So anyway, so that, we're just looking back at the year in review, and we're just trying to figure out what is the best story, and then we move on to guests. But what's the best story that we should vote upon? So we'll continue that just for a few moments here. How about the story about Cleopatra's Barge? You're looking at them now, and you see the fear and angst and anger and frustration in their face, and they come down. Everybody's screaming like a lunatic. I look over to Angelica. We do it like 2 or 3 of these up, and I look over to her. I swear to you this happened. She's white as a ghost, but I think she's passed out. I literally think she passed out from this thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, people do.
Yeah. I've seen it.
It's not uncommon.
And I said to myself, do I wake her? Or is this a body? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I wake her. It's worse. Who do you think is
so horrible as a parent? My God.
You kept going with the usual.
I forgot about that
banter.
one. I guess you put those horrific stories out of my mind.
That was a great one about, I think, with the sandal flying around in Cleopatra's barge at the fair, the street fairs.
It was a ride, yes. Just to yes.
Yeah. So we're going to continue.
For our listeners' benefit.
Here is the most talked about one I've got. I did get quite a response to this one.
Nothing to be scared of, Leo. Here we are. We're at the haunted house. Here it comes. Look. Oh, he looks just like you, Leo. Leo, he looks just like...
Is the trunk closed?
Yes, everything's closed. He can't get in, Leo. You're going to scare him with that mask. He's going to be funny. Uh-oh. That's trouble. Look! Your brothers!
Another skeleton. Two skeletons looking at each other.
Don't be scared. That was good. Crazy music, huh, Leo?
Yeah.
Are you smiling?
No. Is it a scary guy?
I don't know who's next. Well, they all should be scary.
I want them to be.
Well, that's their job.
Oh, the poor kid. There was the Halloween show, $3.99 this year. Not much of a story there, David Cohen. What do you... You're still shocked with that.
I'm still in shock. I'm surprised you put that up there as one of the best. Because I have to say that was it. It was the worst by far.
Yeah.
You'll never ever sink as low as a human as you did on that show. But it was also the best for the same reason.
Well, it was bad at so many levels. First of all, the actual event itself of going to Halloween and doing
you want
a
to
drive-thru.
just in case listeners don't know what we're talking about, you want to just recap what there was story was about.
Right, we did the Halloween show, the $3.99. You want to look for that, and there's Leo and I going through a local haunted house, if you want to call it that, where you stay in your car, and these monsters come to you. And poor kid was how old was he then? I think we were saying he was 7-ish, and he was prepared and all that, but who's prepared for that? And there's a line of cars behind us, and I could not turn around. So I was trying to make it light, and I think one of the funny things is he had the idea he was going to wear his skeleton mask, and that's going to scare these guys.
Yeah, who put that idea in his head, by the way?
Oh, I couldn't.
Did he come up with that himself, or is that something you told him to do?
I'm sure it was fed by me. I'm sure it was.
Yeah. And then, so right, which I didn't know that part, I assume, but that's the first time you're admitting to it. But what scared him was this character that came out dressed as Michael Myers from the Halloween movies, right?
Yeah. And it wasn't just that. Remember, he opened the door.
He opened the door. You were supposed to have your doors locked because they told you ahead of time that, these guys might try to open your car doors for a little bit of the horror effect, and you forgot to lock your doors, and he opened the door where Leo was sitting.
Yeah, and I didn't play you that, but we did play it on the air, and it was horrifying. It was so bad on so many levels. The event itself was bad. Then for me to tape it and play it on the radio is bad. Then for me to laughing at it now is bad. Like, I'm bad all around in this. There's nothing I've done that's been right. On all levels, I've continued to make, and now it's on the best of, so I continue to make mistakes with this. It's fun.
Willingly make mistakes.
Willingly, yeah. It is horrifying. Let's be honest.
But you did fess up that was all your fault, I believe, right?
It certainly was, but this wasn't.
If I were you, I'd have been encouraged by her idea of being together in this little tent, So,
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, this is nice. It's all right, man. I'm ready to roll here. It's good.
Sure.
Have a couple of drinks. We start to try to dance. And if you ever tried to dance with a two-headed costume like this, it's not easy. And she loves to dance. This one loves to dance. And the moves and the twisting and the turning and the bending and the kicking the leg and the boop and the arms up over her head. And boy, I can't keep up at all. I'm being whipped around like I'm like a dog on a leash. I mean, it's worse than that. It's like a Frisbee. I'm trying to catch up. I can't catch the Frisbee. But keep going for this. It's okay.
It's sort of a metaphor for your entire relationship.
There you go. David Cohen putting it all in perspective. The Halloween party I went to with the young lady.
Yes.
All right, so we've got that. Pales in comparison.
Okay, was that another clip? When are these going to stop, by the way? I didn't realize how many stories you did.
We're going to keep going. It's two more. There's two more.
There's two more? I already voted twice.
She lays down. It goes to lay down. And boom. She falls into this hole.
So sophomoric. And so did anyone laugh?
The kids, everyone's laughing and whatever, but, she's not really thinking that this is the greatest thing in the world. I can understand.
Ice cold ice cream. One coconut.
Yeah, freaking fudgy wudgy guy.
The ice cream guy again?
Yeah, he comes walking by again. All right, so she has an eye for this guy all of a sudden because now this idiot, me, I'm thinking I'm so funny, and it really wasn't funny. The high school story at the beach part, show number 1, 404.
Oh, was that when you took her to the beach with some law school friends and you dug a hole,
McDonald's
put the blanket over it as a prank, and she fell into the hole?
Yeah.
Great.
Just peeling the onion, and the onion's got a lot of blood and pus under it because there's a lot of mistakes I've made in my life. A lot.
Where do you shop for onions, dude?
Here's the final one that we can discuss. Here we go. For beach show number 2. Me of this wave. It was, this wave, right? Yeah. All right, so we don't have to sit through this whole time. So a second, but good song, right? I'm picturing this song in my mind. All this stuff. Right at this point, now the wave comes. Right at that point in my mind, I'm hearing that music. I'm invigorated. Nothing could go wrong. This is the greatest day of my life. Of course, things did go wrong that day. We'll leave it at that. You want to look for that show number 405 on iHeart. David Co., you now have a plethora of stories to choose from. So which is the best story of 2021? Can you even do that?
Listen, you will never equal the Leo in the car at Halloween story. You won't. It was so horrific.
Now,
so beyond.
What if I think I agree with you. I think I may. Yeah, I think we.
It's almost like you have to remove that show from the competition because it's unfair.
It's because it's not just commentary and putting in a clip here and there. It's got the actual event right there.
Yeah.
I have a few more of those,
right?
By the way. I have a few more of those.
Really?
Actually. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm kind of scarred now. I don't know if I should play those.
Of course you have to. What are you talking about? There's no question. We're going to hear all of that. Whatever you recorded during your life. Yes.
It's a lot.
That's a show. That's a show. That's a show.
Leo and I, when I take him to these kids' parties. You ever go to these kids' parties? With the...
when my son was younger, I wouldn't just show up as an adult at a kids' party.
With the bouncy tent and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a few events there that happened that went awry as well. I'll tell you about those. But that's for 2022. 2021, you voted. It's definitely that show, and I think the second might be if we're able to get the people we spoke about that are involved in the other Halloween story, the Invisible Ink. That might raise to the level of a best of for 2022. We'll try to get those people. That might be a nice. We were talking off the air, saying it might be interesting to get those two people on the air, or I guess anybody else from any of these stories, right? I mean, and see their perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. How about the guys in the trunk of the car that you locked in?
I was just going to say, I have Roy Silver's number. I can call him, have him listen. And Iggy, I think I have. I saw him in a Home Depot a couple of years back, right around the corner from me here, so I know he lives in the area. We've gotten together.
And he didn't run after you and chase you for locking him in the trunk?
No, he was okay.
At least they're not holding grudges.
All right, so there you go. So this is a little piece of it. If you're enjoying our show and you want to talk to us a little bit off the air, if you will, about what's going on and so forth, how about send us a message there by oldnewagain at AOL.com. We'll be back talking about our guests and what maybe would be the best guests that we had this year. We will be back on Everything Old is New Again.
Okay, what is happening now, Jay? Well, we're going to return to Everything Old is New Again with Doug and Dave. Oh, okay. I got nothing else better to do.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. We unfortunately, at the end of the year or the beginning of a new year, but we're looking back at the last year and we're just kind of saying, well, how did we make out? What did we do? Let's rate things and all this. David Cohen, we've had a number of guests. Some of the guests you've been with us for, some of the guests you have not been with us for. And I have to explain in my world the reason why you're not there is more of a gregarious point of view, saying, listen, you do the interviews and I'll give you the space to be able to ask whatever you want. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. I think a lot of times with the interviews, two of us being there can sort of like clutter it a little bit. So, yeah. Yeah,
but sometimes you didn't. Sometimes we were very good. I'm going to list them first at once. No clips. And let's just see if we just take a look objectively of who we've had on the show this year. Is it a good list? Is it and who's good on it and so forth. Bert Navarre from the Knack, the lead guitarist. Remember him? We had Mike Skill from the Romantics, another lead guitarist. Yeah. We had the Hooters. We had Dr. Bob Breyer, the Egyptologist. Diamond Dallas Page, right? DDP from the WWF. We've had Martin Kove from the renewed, it's on 4th season now, coming up, Cobra Kai, who's the main villain now, and he's always been, but they're really focusing on him now. And then we've got Doug Jones from Star Trek Discovery, active show. We have Don McLean, American Pie fame. Wayne Fetterman, the two-parter with the comedian Wayne Fetterman. We've had Mario Andretti. How about that?
That was cool. Yeah.
Erin Gray from Buck Rogers back in the 70s. That was fun.
Right.
Owen Dennis for my kids and all the kids listening, the creator of Infinity Train, a very unique animated TV show. And Nicholas Meyer, who saved the Star Trek franchise by creating, writing, directing, producing The Wrath of Khan and 2 other Star Trek movies. And he did Time After Time and lots of other stuff as a director and writer. So, first of all, David Cohen, objectively speaking, you hear that list. I don't know. What thoughts come to mind?
I mean, it's objective, right?
Yes.
Whatever area of entertainment strikes your fancy. The fact that we had Don McLean, to me, writer of American Pie, considered, one of, if not the most iconic American pop song, to me, that was the best.
Okay. I'm going to give you, well, let's explore that in a moment, but I forgot I do have a clip of all of them together saying hello. So let's just review all those voices.
Cool.
And then, since I did the work, let's review that, and then maybe that'll make it come to life a little bit.
Hi, this is Bert Navarre. I'm lead guitarist, co-writer, and proud member of the Knack. And you're listening to Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
This is Mike Skill, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again.
Hey, this is Rob Hyman.
And Eric Bazillion from the Hooters.
And you are listening to Douglas Viviani and David Cohen
on Everything Old is New Again.
Hi, this is Bob Breyer, and we're Everything Old is New Again with David Cohen and Douglas Viviani.
Yo, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the 3-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga, better known today as DDPY. Why? I'll tell you why, because I want people to stop calling it just yoga. But I'm not here to talk about the greatest transformation ever on the planet. I am here to tell you that you are listening to Everything is Old is New Again. With my main man, the man with a plan, Doug, and the guy who's standing tall, looking good ought to be in Hollywood, Dave. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Bang!
Hello, this is Martin Kove, a.k.a. John Kreese, and you're listening to Everything That's Old and New. And make sure you listen real tight.
Hey, this is Doug Jones. You might know me as a rubber-clad monster from all kinds of movies and TV shows, but right now, I hope you are continuing to listen to Everything Old is New Again.
Hi, this is Don McLean, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again.
Hi, this is comedian Wayne Fetterman. I am the author of a new book called The History of Stand-Up, From Mark Twain to Dave Chappelle, and I am on Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again.
Hi, this is Erin Gray, and you're listening to Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani.
My name is Owen Dennis, the creator of Infinity Train, and you're listening to Everything Old is New Again.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again. My name is Nicholas Meyer. I am the writer-director of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and several Sherlock Holmes novels, including the forthcoming The Adventure of the Peculiar Protocol.
There we go, David Cohen. Some really good ones, some questionable. I'm not going to pick on anybody, but clearly some have not heard the show before.
Is the phrase "everything old is new again" that foreign to people? It seems like everyone knows it, right? Or should know it.
I think we should say they should know it, yeah, for one reason or another. But they don't all. And
No.
yeah. So which of those stand out to you? Which even one of the
ones that stand out to me are the ones that have so little to do about us and more to do about what they were pitching. When all we asked them to do was just do a quick return for us. Say you're listening to Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen. That's all you have to do.
Now Wayne Fetterman was fun, but I don't know what happened. I'm going to write him again.
Because he never responded to it after the show.
I thought
you insulted him, man. You insulted him.
I thought he really liked us. He really do. Did I read that wrong?
I think you read it wrong. I think he just did not. You challenged his premise of his whole book, and then I also assumed that he knew nothing about Gilbert Gottfried, and he corrected me quickly on that one. So. Yeah, I think I think he probably saw it as, who are these guys and why did I just waste my time with them?
You really think so? Wow. You might be right from what I'm hearing, because he gave us, let me be clear about this. He gave us his personal account, email account. Never received a response from it. Maybe it doesn't really exist. Maybe it was one of those.
Yeah, I was going to say the key word there is allegedly.
Yeah. Okay.
But, look, he could be a very busy guy, but he probably is not a very busy guy. So I think he just doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
I'm going to try again. I also enjoy...
But it's almost stalking.
Yeah,
it really is now. I would
but now I don't care. Now I want to be... I would love to... you pull up, your email. Do they have the news there, whatever you have? And there's a story. I'd love for the story to be Everything Old is New Again issued a restraining order by Wayne Fetterman because they continue to harass him to be on the show. That at least would get us...
Any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
Banner? No.
Exactly. No good. You don't go for that? All right, so I won't do that.
Doug, it's Wayne Fetterman. We're not talking about Jerry Seinfeld.
That's why it bothers me so much. If it was Alan Alda, I would get it.
Why do you want Wayne Fetterman to respond to you? It sounds like it's more about you.
But why isn't he responding? Well, what is it about us that he doesn't think is worthy of his response?
It sounds like to me like your ego is bruised a little bit.
I think it might.
That's what this is about.
It might be, because I really thought we did well. All right,
but listen, if he said, "Oh, I love you guys so much. I want to do so many more shows with you," what would your reaction be?
I'd say no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. That was my time to bust your chops.
Yeah, it would be like, what, this Wayne Fetterman guy, man, he doesn't stop. It's like, okay, man, we'll do another show with you, but pump the brakes a little bit.
Well, the audience would be like, Wayne who? That's the main thing. That's what kills me. It's a Wayne who. It's like, I don't want to go there. It's like, it's too...
It's like you were dissed by someone who should never be dissing you.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Okay.
Now,
Doug Jones, I'm not saying, he's a household name, but what a nice guy. He gets it right. He does a beautiful promo. He's on a current show, Discovery. He was the captain of the Starship in season 3. He's a very big character, and he was as nice and gregarious as you possibly could be. And I'm going to ask, I think I want to have him back, and I will ask to come back. But I hesitate because when you ask them to come back and they don't, you feel like Hollywooded. Like you feel like they said they had a great time and now they're not coming back. Why not, man?
Well, but listen, some of these people really are legitimately busy.
Correct.
And working on other projects, and it might have nothing to do with you. It's just about their scheduling and their time.
No doubt. Like Martin Cove.
We've had guests that have come back.
Yes.
And, I think they come back because they want to come back, obviously, which is great. It works both ways, right? We're asking them to come back because we enjoyed their company. They're coming back because they enjoyed our company. But in addition, they have to have the time to do it. And I think that's of an equal weight. And if they just can't make the time, it has nothing to do with how they feel about us.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, the most watched show of the year, according to all of our, this is watched to listen to from all of the, the
most. You're talking about our show, the most listened to,
the most listened to from where we put them, we archive our shows, iHeart, and all those services. Here it is.
And for the living, all is well.
Remember this one?
Sink further into hell, and the flames rise up to drag you down.
Show 356. Creepy novelty songs. Did you ever think this would be the most listened to show 2020?
No.
Isn't that crazy? And what's I have here? So that's it. I don't want to keep playing it. But that's
surprising. Yeah.
People really, really enjoyed that. I don't blame them. It was a heck of a show. It was a lot of fun to do. Michelle was on that with us. If you want to listen to that one, 356, it's all over the internet. We'll be back next week for more fun with everything old is new again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.